Your life as Vlad the Impaler. Level 1. The Collateral. You're just 11. Wallachia, 1442. Your father drops to his knees outside the Ottoman Sultan's tent and hands you over. Doesn't matter how much gold he has or how many soldiers. He offers you instead. You and little Radu climb onto strange horses and head south away from your home, toward a place where the words don't make sense and their god feels foreign. Your father says it's diplomacy, but let's be honest, he sold you for a chance to keep his crown a little longer. You hear the gates slam behind you in the Ottoman court, but you don't let yourself cry. Not now. Already, you're starting to get it. Love isn't protection. Love is a weakness. Loyalty? That's the only thing that means anything here. And your own father just spent yours like spare change. Level 2. Education. You're 13. The palace? Gorgeous. But it's still a cage. Your tutors drill you on Turkish, Arabic script, the Quran. They make you ride horses, wield swords, all of that. They never let up. Still, you know what they are. Your captors. You never let yourself forget. Your brother Radu? He adjusts. He flashes warm smiles at the guards, jokes with the Sultan's son, gathers friends. People like him. You have no interest in being liked. From the courtyard, punishments play out. Men impaled on stakes for crossing the state. They die slow, sprawling under that hot sun, meant to scare everyone who watches. Most of the boys can't stand it. They look away. You don't flinch. You pay attention to the details, the exact angle of the stake, the careful way they avoid a vital organ, making sure the agony drags on. You don't realize it now, but you're memorizing every step. Even then, collecting lessons for the day you run your own kingdom. Level 3. The Murder. You are 16. A writer crosses the border with news that reaches you days later. Your father is dead. Boyars, the noble class of Wallachia, the men sworn to serve the throne, turned on him. They dragged him into a swamp near Baltini and put him in the mud alive. Your older brother Mircea, 19 years old, fared worse. They gouged out his eyes and buried him alive, still breathing, still fighting, in a grave outside Targovist. The Ottomans who hold you hostage do not mourn with you. They see opportunity. A throne with no ruler is a throne waiting for someone loyal to Ottoman interest. That someone is about to be you. You are handed a title before you are handed your freedom. The 4th level indicates a throne you have borrowed. You are 17. Soldiers of the Ottoman Empire take you back to Wallachia and help you sit on your father's throne. Now you are voivode. You are a prince now, but people at the hall are aware of the reality. The crown was not yours. It was lent to you by the empire that took you as a hostage. The boyars that have killed your father and buried your brother alive are in the hall. They are well off and are still beaming at you. You must be smiling as well. You must be waiting for an opportunity for 6 years at the foreign court. You wait. After 2 months, a rival claiming throne marches on Targovist with the army from Hungary. You do not have this much powerful army to keep the city safe. You get out of sight even before the walls are in danger. Level 5. All those years in captivity. You are in the age of 19 to 25 years. You are like one living in exile, moving between the areas of Moldavia and the Ottoman Empire. You are like a man watching the house where he lived from outside, where people he doesn't even know occupy his home. You get to know those who have taken your throne. You learn about boyars who killed your father. Gradually, you form alliances. Your cousin there, a mercenary leader over here. You make out these alliances at low voice in the rooms where you were not noticed. You are so steady that it bothers others. 6 years being a hostage has taught you that too early spent anger brings death. However, if you keep your anger and spend it properly, you can gain the whole kingdom. Level 6. The Reckoning. You are 25. 1456. You take back the throne of Wallachia forcefully and declare your intent to keep it this time. Your first act after becoming prince isn't one of war. You host a dinner. You invite all boyar families who had profited from your father's murder, old men, young heirs, and their wives dressed in their best, to celebrate Easter at Targovist. There is music and wine. Then you stand up and ask them one question in front of everyone in the hall. You ask how many princes they have served in their life. Some reply 7, while some give a greater number. You know that the answer is already a condemnation, because no ruler can survive so many betrayals, unless boyars themselves are the source of the problem. Soldiers lock the doors. The younger and able-bodied nobles are forced to walk 50 miles to a ruined fortress on a cliff above the river Argesh. Many of them die during the journey, wearing their party clothes. Those who survive build the castle stone by stone with their bare hands. It is going to be called the Poenary Castle. It is built on the graves of those men who have killed your father. Level 7, the Forest of Law. You are 27. The Wallachia comes to your governance as no one has seen before. The crime disappears. Merchants left the bags of gold coins in the square of the town as a sign of the prosperous times. And in the morning, they find all coins as they left them, because in your principality, there is no such punishment as stealing. You hang a golden cup at the well in the Targovist, and it is there for the next several years, being a symbol of the law, which is merciless and strict. The foreign merchants complain about the tariffs. You invite them for dinner. They drink a lot, asking too many questions, and in the morning, instead of the expected caravans, you see the corpses of the people who disrespected your laws. The fear is not the side product of your rule. The fear is the reason why it became so. Level 8, the Turbans. You are 29. 1459. Ottoman envoys arrive to exact the annual tribute your father paid to buy his life. You refuse to pay. Worse, when the envoys refuse to remove their turbans in your presence, citing religious custom, you have their heads nailed to the walls, the turbans still on, so that religious custom may henceforth be honored in Wallachia. It is not an obscure detail, one whispered at court by jealous rivals. Chroniclers in both realms will report it within weeks. The news will reach Sultan Mem II, who has raised you in his palace, taught you his tongue, drilled you in his hates, and now you have simply stated, with no diplomatic niceties at all, that Wallachia belongs to no one but himself. Level 9, the Scorched Road. You are 31. 1462. Mem II crosses the Danube with an army numbering somewhere near 90,000 men. The same Sultan who once watched you grow up inside his palace walls. He expects a quick campaign. You give him a nightmare instead. You order your own villages burned to the ground, wells poisoned, livestock slaughtered rather than left behind. Every field the Ottoman army marches through is already dead. No food, no water, no shelter, nothing to loot. Nothing to sustain 90,000 men in enemy territory. Your soldiers strike from the forests at night and vanish before dawn. You are not fighting Mem's army head-on. You are starving it, exhausting it, bleeding it one raid at a time, using the land itself as a weapon. Level 10, the Night Attack. You are still 31. June, deep in the campaign. Intelligence reaches you that the Sultan's massive camp is exhausted, undisciplined, sprawling carelessly across the countryside near Targovist. You make a decision no other ruler in the region would dare make. You lead a small cavalry force directly into the heart of the Ottoman camp under cover of darkness, aiming for one target, the Sultan's own tent. Your men cut through the outer lines in chaos and blood. You get close enough that some chroniclers claim you nearly reach the tent itself before the alarm spreads through the camp and the assault collapses into retreat. You don't kill Mem that night, but you do something arguably more devastating. You prove to 90,000 soldiers that their emperor is not untouchable, that a prince they were taught to see as a former hostage boy can ride into the heart of their empire's power and walk back out alive. Level 11, the Forest of the Impaled. You are 31. Days later, the Ottoman army continues its advance toward Targovist, and what they find outside the city stops the march entirely. A field stretching nearly a mile, covered in wooden stakes, on each one a body, nearly 20,000 of them by contemporary account, prisoners of war, captured soldiers, collaborators, left decomposing in the summer heat in careful, deliberate rows, arranged almost like a forest planted for exactly this purpose. Mem II, the most powerful man in the region, the conqueror who took Constantinople 9 years earlier, stands at the edge of that field and looks at what waits for him if he continues forward. Chronicles describe him as visibly shaken. Within days, his exhausted, demoralized army turns back toward the Danube. You did not win this war by defeating the Ottoman army in open battle. You won it by making the Ottoman army afraid to keep marching. Level 12, the Brother's Blade. You are 32. Mehmed is fleeing the country, but he will not forgive. He prepares a gift, another sword, which knows the same court, learns from the same tutors, and in which you can recognize yourself, your own language, and your own blood. Your brother Radu, the one who used to be smiling at the guards when you were studying statecraft in the courtyard as a boy, is approaching Wallachia with an Ottoman army, but more importantly, with a boyar nobility tired of you and ready to accept the mildest prince. Your fortress in Poenary, built by the same craftsman who killed your father, is besieged. It is said that your wife jumps in her death from the tower of the castle into the river below, preferring the Turkish conquerors to the wrath of Radu. You escape to the mountains through a secret passage, leaving part of your men to be slaughtered, and you see how the snake of your brother's standard is raised above the capital of your creation. Level 13, the cage without walls. You are 32 to 44. You flee to Hungary seeking support from King Matthias Corvinus, the same monarch who once called himself your ally. Instead of an army, you receive a prison cell. Corvinus, under pressure to justify why he took Hungarian gold meant to fund your war and never sent it to the front, fabricates letters claiming you conspired with the Ottomans, the very empire that raised you as a hostage and that you humiliated with nailed turbans and a field of stakes. You spend 12 years in captivity. 12 years, the same length of time it takes a hostage boy to become a legend, spent instead as a legend rotting in a foreign cell, while your name becomes a rumor whispered across two empires. Some call you a monster, some call you the last wall against the Ottoman advance, and you are locked away from all of it, unable to answer either version. Level 14, the second throne. You are 45, 1476. Politics shift. Corvinus needs a hardened commander who actually terrifies the Ottomans, and there is exactly one man in Europe with that reputation rotting in his own dungeon. You convert to Catholicism, a formality, a price of freedom, not a change of soul, and you are released, restored, and marched back toward Wallachia at the head of a combined Hungarian and Moldavian force. You retake your throne for a third time. The boyars who remember the Easter feast 20 years earlier watch you return with the particular silence of men who know exactly what returns with you. Level 15, the price. You are 45. Your third reign lasts only months. An Ottoman-backed force, still loyal to the brother who once smiled at your guards, moves against you before winter fully sets in. Chronicles disagree on the exact details of your final battle near Bucharest. Some say you were ambushed by Ottoman soldiers disguised as your own men. Some say you fell surrounded by a small guard against overwhelming numbers. What every source agrees on is what happens after. Your head is severed, packed in honey to preserve it for the journey, and sent to Constantinople to Mehmed to himself, the boy who once shared your tutors, the Sultan you humiliated with a field of 20,000 stakes. He has it displayed on a spike above the city gate. The empire you spent your entire life defying gets the last word on your body. It does not get the last word on your name. 5 centuries later, storytellers across the world still borrow your face, your title, your legend, to build monsters of their own. None of them come close to what you actually were. You are Vlad the Impaler. You paid every debt in blood, including your own, and now you are history.